Hello, everyone. It's Pat with our November Archangels, energies, and messages. Um, and also, I want to announce for this month our Circle of Angels event. It's actually going to be a peace event, really. And I'm so delighted because I have a couple of my um, fellow YouTube readers who are going to be joining me, and I'm so delighted. So I'll have with me on this event Ron Schaefer and Christine Halliwell. They're both really great readers on YouTube, and I'll be happy to. I'm going to post the links to their channels below, so you can go check them out. So what we're going to be doing, this is taking place on November 12th from 7 to 9. It's a Zoom event, and it is free to attend. So, if you're looking for more of a sense of peace and calm as we go through these times, these days, and these times when there's so much upheaval and war going on in the world. I felt very called. I've always done Circle of Angels, and that's always been a part of it, was to call in the Archangels and their higher celestial energies to bring in a greater sense, to lighten our spirit and to help us get a greater sense of peace. So, and I often feel called, during these times to do more of that. As the intensity of dramas and wars, as the intensity of that amps up in the world, those of us who do this work, who think of ourselves as light workers or healers or what have you, it's time for us to step up our efforts and help us, ourselves, and other people focus even more on a sense of peace, to really ground it in ourselves and help it to expand. So that's what we're going to be doing at this month's Circle of Angel event. It always starts out with a meditation to clear out our energies, and we invoke the archangels to be present with us. And sometimes it's because I'm a Reiki master, I do some healing for people, and we pull some cards. I think it's going to be a really, really fun time. So I hope you'll join us. I'll provide the link for that below. So on to the archangels for this upcoming month of November. So I went ahead and pulled some cards out ahead of time for us in the interest of time to see who came out to be here with us. And in some ways, it's not a surprise, but we have Archangel Azrael who's with us with this message of comfort. And it says, I'm with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. And Archangel is the angel of he helps people cross to the other side. He helps us deal with grieving and loss. For some of you, if you remember that series that was out, Touched by an Angel, and there was the angel Andrew, who was they call him kind of like the angel of death, but he was always showing up when it was somebody's time to cross or to pass on. And Archangel Azrael can really help us through our grieving process. And we have in our world now, like large groups of people in different countries of the world, parts of the world, who are, collectively grieving. We've had people who have been through natural disasters. They have lost their homes, their livelihoods. They are grieving. Again, large groups of people who are, going through a difficult time. We're losing celebrities that we know and love. Like we just lost Matthew Perry, and I'm sure there's going to be some more as we go forward. Maybe world leaders that we're going to lose. And so Azrael is here. This is a month to really take care of your heart and allow yourself that space to grieve, to honor your feelings, take care of your well-being. And it doesn't matter whether it's the loss of a person, or a lifestyle that you had, maybe you lost your home. Um, it, it doesn't matter what the loss is. Loss is something that we here in our human experience need to take the time to be with and, let it flow through us. It's part of our healing process. Um, a lot of us now too, as we're coming into the holiday season with November. Here in America, we celebrate Thanksgiving. But we're also coming in, and just in general, to the holiday season for all the spiritual traditions of the world, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or, this many different spiritual traditions that have a special celebration at this time of the year. And a lot of us are grieving the loss of loved ones. It might be our first holiday without that loved one in our life. And, it can really leave us out of sorts for a while. Maybe you've lost a beloved pet. Azrael, I think this is both for this month. I think it's definitely has to do with grieving the loss of people who have already passed and the people we've lost to the wars and other conflicts in the world. But it's also a little bit prophetic that there's more coming. And, we may lose someone else, not just a celebrity or a world leader, but we may lose someone close to us. Azrael is always here in our time of need to help us. And we also have along with him, Archangel Zadkiel, the angel of compassion. This card says, soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So, a lot of this is about really not being too hard on yourself about something. When people pass and we get through that funeral, we're trying to get back to our day-to-day life. And we know we have to kind of move on. We know that's part of it. But at the same time, it's important to be compassionate to ourselves and allow ourselves that time to grieve, to take care of our own well-being. Okay. I've also had this card come up when, when loss is in our life or something that's significantly changed, and, we look back and it's like, oh, it's just not what it used to be anymore or whatever. Sometimes it can be an underlying, as part of the cycle of grieving. Anger and resentment can be part of that. There's shock, disbelief, there's a whole cycle of emotions that we go through. And sometimes there can be underlying anger and resentment. We've got a weird shine of the light. I have like this light like glaring at me right now that's coming in from the sun behind me. But anyways, Zadkiel reminds us to have compassion on the people involved. I can relate because there was a time in my life when I had a lot of anger and resentment that was coming up around some people in my life, because I was really just, I was so angry at the way they were going about something because I felt like they weren't being compassionate. But, this card came up for me, and they also came right in my ear and reminded me, as I was in this little, had all those negative, angry thoughts churning through my mind, having a little rant inside my head. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. We've all been there. Hello, baby. Oh, she wants to be part of this here. But anyways, I was saying my angels came right up in my ear and reminded me, not only to have compassion for that person and those people, but they were also kind of foretelling that I would have compassion because they were about to go through a big loss themselves. And it's always a little bit easier for us to feel compassion for others when we understand the experience that they're going through, especially when they've lost people, loved ones, or pets, beloved pets. Oh, come on, get down. Thank you. So, that's a big part of the energies that are going on this month. We have help to heal our hearts. We have help to be compassionate with ourselves and other people. And we also had the Archangel Azrael come out with this message of spiritual understanding. Because in these times, in these difficult times, that's what we're reaching for. We're looking for that higher understanding. A lot of us are going back to our spiritual roots. We're connecting with and looking for understanding of the bigger meaning of things. And, this is a time that we are in where our consciousness, mankind's consciousness as a whole, is expanding, and it is getting better. The world is, in all the spiritual studies I've done, one of the big takeaways I've gotten is that we're not going to hell in a handbasket. The world isn't going to hell in a handbasket. We are actually, mankind as a whole, we are evolving and getting to higher states of spiritual consciousness. It doesn't look pretty while it's happening. It's still got a long ways to go. There are larger cycles of time than the ones that most of us are humanly and consciously aware of, like seasons and years and decades and centuries. There are much longer cycles of time that have been known by many a spiritual master over the years. There are cycles called yuga cycles that are like 12,000 years long that have to do with the revolution of the sun, our own sun. We revolve around the earth revolves around the sun, but the sun also revolves around a greater sphere. And there are enlightened ages of mankind, and there are dark ages of mankind. And right now, mankind as a whole is coming out of very dark ages and, evolving both spiritually, consciously, in our consciousness. And we're discovering subtle energies. We're moving into a definitely higher cycle. So, there's really, it gives hope, because it's, we're not going to implode. We're not going to destroy ourselves. And we are going to get to a higher place of being. Okay. But we still have to work to get there. We have to do our spiritual work, our inner work. We have to take care of our inner selves. And so, but this may just be on a smaller level, that, it may be this month that it's clearer to you. Okay. Spiritual understanding comes at all sorts of different levels. When you find out the truth about things, it gives you a spiritual understanding, a bigger picture. And that's what he's got here. He's got the dove of peace. Okay. And like the star and the Merkaba and everything like that. And so when you need, when you have those times when you're really wrestling with that understanding of, why do these things happen? Reach out to your archangels, ask them for help in getting a better understanding. That's what they're there for. And they're very happy to help us here, but we do have to ask for their help. There's more and more people who, to their spiritual gifts, are opening up and expanding. They're learning more about what those gifts are and how to use them. That's part of this as well. Okay. So you might be taking that course on mediumship, or, enrolling in that class for spiritual psychic development or something. Okay. There's a lot that's going on this month, opportunities that may be there, maybe our Circle of Angels event is part of that for you. I hope you'll join us. Anyways, let's look into some other let's see, specific thing. I brought out the fairy card deck. What's the fairies? Fairies, what's ahead for us for the month of November? For all those who might be watching the videos, that one was sticking out. Okay. Oop. That came out so clunky. So one of the first cards that came out from the fairies was this one about dietary changes. Okay. And improve your diet and your life will also improve. Now, for those of us here in America, we just got through with Halloween, which is, we're all like all good and sugared up. So I don't doubt that this is a little bit of a scaling back from maybe all the candy eating that we did around Halloween. But and now we're gearing up for Thanksgiving, which is our big food holiday. But for some of you, though, this is really has to do with a huge concern for your health, and it may be a little bit of part of that compassion that Archangel, gosh, I forgot, Zadkiel was talking about, because it's you changing to a diet that's going to be kinder to your body. Okay. And it's really this like thing about taking care of yourself. I think there's a lot this month that's coming up for people about taking care of themselves in body, mind, and spirit. When you take care of your body better, your spirit thrives. You are better able to be in the world and cope with stress. So, and also, when we see loved ones who've passed away from diseases, addictions, it brings that wake up and smell the coffee awareness, or bucket of cold water in your face awareness that it's time for us to change. So, and I think for a lot of people, switching over to more plant-based things, because there's a lot, the fairies, there's a lot of flowers in this. So I feel like for some of you out there, making that change to a more vegetarian way of eating. What's this other one that's come out? Oh, okay. So for somebody out there, we get a birthday, November birthdays. A significant birthday holds the answer to your question. So, my feeling about this is that there's something about this particular birthday, for whoever might be watching this video, that is significant for you. Like something either significant happens on, your birthday this month. Or I do feel like for some of you, you're beginning the planning of, like, if you're coming up on a milestone birthday, like one of the decade ones, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, what have you. You're planning a celebration for someone who's going to be having a significant birthday this year. So, and that's always a lot of fun. And I also feel, as I look at this card, that it has to do with a birth, a child that's being born into the world this month that is significant to your life. I mean, it's always, memorable and significant when a child is born. But there's one that's coming in